Hey, what's up, guys? You guys listen to another episode of Live Pixel Podcast. This is episode 10, the Pre-E3 Goodness. And of course, the always devices going off because I never turn them off before it starts.
You always
As
get
always, what's that?
you always get some sound going off. If I had my microphone on there for a second, you would have heard my Nexus 7 go off too. So
Mine just did when you were talking, so.
it's like, how many
That's Sato,
androids
by
go
the way.
off?
This is Sleeper.
Hi.
We also have Crane here as well.
Say hi, Corey. There you go. Took a little while for you to say hi.
Everyone's on a little bit of delay. Hell, we didn't even know what episode we were doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's because we're really professional here. It's definitely the thing that we strive for the most, right, Sleeper?
When you don't write me, I'm always professional, goddammit.
Oh man. All right. Well, so yeah, we're here doing this podcast. I figured we could at least do one before E3, and I joshed it out to you, Sleeper. I asked you if you wanted to do it. You're like, yeah. And yeah, so we're doing some pre-E3 stuff, like you said. But first off, the game that you...
That's horrible. What the hell are you...
I don't know.
I went ahead and I asked him if he wanted to do it. He said yes, and then I asked Corain if he wanted to do it, and that's usually how the podcast forms.
Yep, exactly.
So professional.
Yeah, kind of just goes through the wire like that. So, Sleeper, you got this game that you've been playing for a while, that you apparently are really excited about and been playing for a while. How's it going?
Oh, you mean Marvel Heroes? Yeah.
Yeah,
Marvel
that
Heroes
game.
is so far worth it. Worth what I paid for it, and the fact that I already put microtransactions into it.
The $275 you've spent so far?
Somewhere around there.
It's incredible. It's just incredible. For all clarity, you've purchased the was it the collectors, the founders Extremo Ultimate Pack? I don't know what it's called
Ultimate
anymore.
Pack Edition. Yes, about the $200 edition.
And then some.
Yeah, and then plus a bunch of micros. Like, how many microtransactions did you do, or what's primarily taking up your money sink on that end?
Trying to get the cow level. I think I spent like $60 just trying to do that alone.
Cosmic keys or something?
Nope, just
Or
getting
cards.
just getting the fortune cards.
Oh my god!
I'm not that smart, man.
And no wonder you guys were leveling so much faster than me. You guys were constantly getting those buffs from the XP buffs on those cards, I'm sure.
No, I didn't. I bought the Ultimate Pack as well, but the only thing that's different between the Ultimate Pack and anybody else is a permanent 5% XP boost. That's it. I actually didn't use any of my G except for maybe once or twice to buy experience pots. I bought the cow level on my first fortune card, so I didn't have to spend any extra money.
Well, la-di-da, someone got
La-di-da.
he got really lucky on that. I think I actually got it on maybe my 60th or so actual fortune card opening.
Isn't it kind
Yeah.
of shitty to think about, though, that you have to spend money for this secret level that you would normally be able to acquire in other games, like, for free? I mean,
Well, no. See, that's the thing is, just because he did it that way doesn't mean there isn't a free way to do it. There is.
Yeah, you can get
You go
fortune
run the
cards
daily
as loot or
dungeons.
dailies.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
You fortune cards can drop. They can also be acquired by purchase through the game, through the mechanics, by completing dungeons and getting the cosmic keys, or not the cosmic keys, the cube shards. And you take the cube shards and you turn them in, and you can get a fortune card.
okay, so fair point. So there's a route out of that, then.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's always a free route to get to almost every single thing in the game. It's only the impatient people like us that spent extra money.
I would say, though, that at least in one way, I don't know, kind of a little bit disappointed that the costumes don't come up enough, or it doesn't seem like I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen a single costume drop beyond just the one that you get for free, and then that secondary one that you get for the completing that first quest. So past those two free ones, like, I haven't seen a single
I think
other
that's more of
costume
your
drop.
own drop rates,
Yeah, that's all
because I was
based on
playing
your own
with
drop rate.
Ghost this morning, and he got 3 different ones.
All
Yeah,
right.
you got 3 to drop?
Yeah, I think he got Thing, Storm, and somebody else. And I know some of those are entry level, or intro characters, But he still got them as drops from loot.
I think he's lying
Well,
to you.
I mean, if it happens, it happens, and that's good. Because right, I mean, it seemed like to me that it was just never dropping, and if the only method of acquiring, characters was to pay for them, then that would probably be pretty crappy. I mean,
No.
honestly, I just never saw one drop. So, if it happens, then that's fine.
Well, at the same time, a lot of other people are getting their character coins for their ultimate ability power-ups. I've gotten one, and it's not even for a character I play. So, I mean, it's all random loot, and it's all going to come eventually if you want to put in the time.
Yeah,
Well,
and I assume that's
doesn't it start out as the coins can either be used as unlocking the character, and if you already have the character, then it's used as the ultimate?
I think that's the case. Or
I don't know if that's
the case. I think it's the
that's
same thing instead of either or.
character token.
Yeah, you
I
use
guess
the
that
character
could be.
token if you already have it, and you use that token to upgrade your ultimate for a character you already have. That way, you're not sitting there with character tokens that you have no use for.
Yeah, and you can't. I mean, I assume that you can't trade them as well to other players.
Unfortunately,
No.
not yet. I mean,
No.
most of the stuff that's in the game you can't trade for some reason. So
Yeah.
hopefully that'll be patched in to upgrade that.
Which, I mean, that seems pretty crappy because, obviously you'd have a way out. We've talked about, Star Wars: The Republic in the past, but, at least in their case, they have a method of getting rid of, like, having to buy things because you can just go into the store or the auction house and buy it, or, receive it from a friend, trade it, etc. So there was an
Well,
option
at the same
or
time,
out
this
for
game doesn't have an auction house. There is no trade system built into it.
Yeah, I know.
It's meant to be just a free-to-play, have fun, smash things kind of game, and you happen to get cool loot. That's kind of on its own.
Well, I kind of really hope that they actually implement more social aspects into it.
Oh, don't
yeah,
get me
being
wrong.
able
Yeah,
to trade
some of it
and
would
sell.
be nice.
I mean, they're
That'd
calling
be
this an
really
MMO.
nice.
They're not hiding that this is supposed to be a MMO. I mean, yes, it's an RPG. It's like a Diablo and that type of game.
Oh, it very much is a Diablo clone. I mean, that's a given.
Especially in the instances, sure. But at the same time, I mean, they're not hiding like the fact that there are hundreds of people in the same zone. I mean, to even my computer's detriment, in a lot of ways, for certain fights, and I'm sure for a lot of other people. But yeah, no, it just seems like it's more of an MMO than I originally expected. But a lot of those features that you would normally expect in MMOs just aren't there, and hopefully that comes at some point in time in the future.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have a lot of the aspects you would normally think would ship with a game.
Speaking of which, Endgame doesn't really seem like there's much to speak of in that department except for the daily stuff. You guys have more experience than I do on that, but what do you guys think of it? Is it something that you think will last long enough?
Between PvP and dailies, and there is a couple of group content that you can do. There's not too much endgame. I mean, the leveling process alone takes forever once you're post 35.
Yeah, that's the worry that I have, is that like once I get to endgame, I might not want to, replay a new character. I'm already kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it was me picking Rocket Raccoon, maybe I should have picked another character, but I was really not caring too much for the gameplay of the Rocket Raccoon, and I still kind of don't.
Well, one of the good things I definitely noticed is it's a lot easier to play through another character than, the same thing on your max character. Like, I mean, I made the stupid idea of playing Wolverine. I mean, Wolverine, in a nutshell, is a really cool class, but because their whole melee system is kind of jacked, the melee is awful. Compared to range,
really?
There's nothing, no.
Because the way I was hearing it was like the other way around. Ranged just feels kind of awful, and I kind of felt that way with Rocket Raccoon, and then also Scarlet Witch, kind of feeling like both of them. There's something about the way that game delays like actions, and the way that the ranged works, that the range doesn't ever really feel like solid. It feels terrible, and
the animations
immediately
are a little off. Yeah,
and
it causes a weird hiccup from activating skills to movement.
Yeah, and then when I went back to Melee briefly to try out like Black Panther, it was like immediately apparent that, oh my god, this feels so much better. This is like, it just plays better. It just feels better. There's no there was no comparison, at least to me. I mean, it just felt like it was far better on a melee standpoint.
I think for the end game issue, there are large group things that can be done, and they're survival modes with large waves of enemies and things like that, and then you end up fighting a supervillain at the end.
And they are laggy as
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are laggy. You got to turn your graphics down. You got to turn everything down. But once you're actually doing it, it's actually kind of fun. You just kind of run around with the group and smash through it, and then you get to the boss, and then you have to actually pay attention.
Yeah, and it's kind of neat. The only thing I would say about that is that freaking audio bug, man. They got to get rid of that thing. Every
Yeah.
time, and it's understandable because there's so many things going on at the same time. You got every single audio type of piece trying to overlap on top of each other, and
Yeah, there's only so many channels of audio it allows. Yeah.
yeah, so and then it just crumbles immediately once it gets past that channel cap limit, and that should be all based on audio hardware, not necessarily on the game client. But it seems like it's more on
They
game
should have just
client,
set up
and
priorities.
yeah, it seems
And
like
that's a really simple fix for audio that I've understood
Yeah.
for a while, is that you can set priorities for which ones will play over others. That way they're
Yeah.
not just like all trying to do it at the same time.
And it seems like it's set low enough that, like, you know, to try to make sure that it doesn't like crash people's games or cause performance issues with lower end systems. They kind of lower it down to a point where, you know, it's not really to a point where it can really do any harm on every PC. So it just kind of, it sucks for everybody, kind of.
Well, for those people who are interested in Marvel Heroes, there's a decent website that's kind of a side to it. It's Marvel Base. And you can go there and you can play around with the skill points and the talent tree, or the power trees, I guess, and try and see how they work. And then check the forums and see how some of the abilities really stack up. Because there's again a couple of times now that I get to a certain point on a character where I'm using the in-game retcon device to reset all my points just to reallocate for more optimum efficiencies.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. You know, I think you guys have a better idea about the game long term and how it sort of feels. But do you guys think that, you know, you might spend a lot of time with this game on the long term, or you guys feel like this is kind of waning on this end?
I mean, it's only been out for a week.
Yeah, this is probably going to be one of the ones where you actually go back and just play it for like some of the rested, because you get a significant amount of rested. You get rested per character. So it's not like, because you have different XP bars for each character, you can be logged on and gaining rest on the other. So you can just hop between a bunch of characters and just gain XP.
Well,
yeah, the first thing, when I bought the Ultimate Pack, the first thing I did was go to each and every single character to log in the first time, and then go play the one I wanted to. Now, it doesn't matter what character I go back to, I've always got rested.
But yeah, but the problem with that, though, is that, you know, you have to reset your quest structure and all your story stuff every single time.
Not necessarily.
You switch to different characters, and nobody wants to do that.
You don't really have to. If you enter a zone through the waypoint system, it tends to start up that quest in that area.
Yeah,
there
only the area quests, but not the story quests. The story quests don't work like that. I've noticed that's only designed for the area quest stuff, the stuff that, you know, you can basically do over and over again.
Okay, so the reason for that is because the actual quest chain will reward extra power points, and sometimes it'll reward fortune cards and XP pots and things like that. So they do want you to do that. But the thing is
that's
once
why
you're
it's
the higher
crucial
level,
to do that. That's why it's crucial to reset all your points, and that's why it feels very weird for a game trying to sell me multiple character slots and multiple characters, all these characters, so that I can try to plow through the game on those things, but then at the same time not allow me to just pick up progress on different things. I'm just saying this is a thing that I feel like it could be done better, and hopefully, you know, they fix that in the future, because it just seems like it's they want to sell me these other characters, but at the same time it's like their systems I don't feel like, you know, support me in that front. Maybe I'm the only one.
At the same time, you can always, when you want to go back forward, just select the chapter you want and hit warp 2, and it starts up that chapter again.
That's fine, but that's only if you're, doing the same sort of quest over and over again and constantly resetting it to that last point. And that it takes a lot of planning. It's not a thing that the average person will do, and it's not necessarily even efficient on that front, because it's going to reset all your main story plot points, because you have to go all the way through it in order for it to continue to connect. I don't know. Sleeper,
I guess I
your
haven't
thoughts
seen
on
the
that?
issue.
Yeah, I really like Corinne said, I really haven't seen any issues with it. I mean, I just click on a character that says you want to start with the raft, and I'm like, okay. So you start with the raft, and you just keep going. I mean, I never really noticed the fact that it erases everything.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it erases your entire story, like from the start.
But you don't
like, to
lose
the
your
start.
waypoints, so when you go
Yeah,
back,
you don't lose the waypoint. Sure,
you can always jump ahead and get back to where you were.
that's fine, and that's the problem that I have, is that it supports you in some fronts. It allows you to get back to other waypoints faster, so that you can plow through the quest stuff. But then the quest stuff all resets every single time, and it doesn't really allow you to keep a single quest through line ready to go on each character. That's the problem I have, is that it's of two minds. It both hinders you and then supports you in separate ways, and then seems to want to sell you the stuff, but still doesn't support you in a real crucial way, I think, there for the story. So I think for the long term, personally, I want to see them maybe fix that and just make it so that each character has their own plot through line, and so that it's not disrupted by the other characters.
You're going to have to buy that on microtransactions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, lastly, so if people want to group up with you guys, specifically you two, because I've been playing it, but I don't really play it enough, I think, because of my job, to really be of any note. If people want to group up with you guys, who should they add, and do we plan on doing a super group for this?
I usually do a super group or guild for everything we do, which is usually always the best friends club. So hopefully that whole system gets re-implemented back in there.
And who should they add for the meantime?
That one's Sleeper. Or Crane, I'm assuming. And
Yeah.
you can't do that unless we're online, so that whole system's kind of oddball right now, too.
And Sadonomic online, but good luck trying to friend me up. I'm not really online very much.
Well, you are online, it's just you're kind of playing the new game Scrolls or
Yeah.
whatever this whole new trading card fad is. So
Speaking of which, that was great. That was a great transition.
I know, see,
What-
when you point it out, it doesn't make them seem as great. See, that's called a flawless transition, where it just kind of flows, and you just kind of stop
exactly.
it right there,
you
so
just
everyone
pooped
just
on
now
it.
looks at it.
Because it's too professional. I have to stop it. So yeah, Scrolls is a game from Mojang that many people might have heard them
the
talking
people who
about,
brought you Minecraft.
especially during that suit, or the Bethesda trying to sue them, along with ZeniMax trying to sue them for so long because of the name being Scrolls, and how close it is to Elder Scrolls Online.
Just
and all that
imagine a
stuff.
bunch of comic book guys just
Yeah.
fighting over the word Scrolls.
It really is just I don't know, childish kind of thinking back now, because it's nothing like it. It's like it'd be understandable if it was like, a game that was similar to it, but it's totally not. It's nothing like it. It's not even in the same sort of realm.
It's very
Anyways,
misleading.
yeah. It's so it's a fantasy sort of steampunk trading card game made by Mojang. And it's in beta currently right now, which is able to be bought for $20. You can buy into it.
Damn.
Which doesn't really seem like much.
Yeah, that is a lot. I'm sorry, that's a lot of money. I paid $20 for Minecraft, not for cards or scrolls.
Well, the thing that
they should call
they're-
it cards.
Well, they're taking the same approach as Minecraft, where they're going to be constantly adding stuff to it. So right now, it might be it's not as big on the fleshed out. They were talking about adding new factions and other things like that to make it bigger and beefier long term, and maybe some different party systems or different 2v2 stuff and stuff like that in the future. But right now, it's all sort of making sure that the combat actually works, and how the 1v1 stuff works for competitive realm stuff. So far, I think it I mean, first impressions, my initial thoughts It just seems like it's it's a very solid game. It's not a buy to win game. It's not, even though it's a free to play game, and well, not free to play technically, buy to play with some free to play elements in there with the microtransaction stuff. It's not necessarily anywhere near buy to play. There's no way for you to actually directly buy cards, or well, you can buy single cards that are on rotation every 7 days, but you can only do that once during that week period. So it's not really that big of a deal. Also, the packs themselves are bought by XP mostly, and you can get more cards that way anyway. So plenty more cards that way. So it's an interesting concept. And so far, I've played about 33 games, 33 matches, and been able to win about 17 of them. And it's it's so far so good. Art style's really good. Deck sort of customization stuff is really well thought out. I was noticing that even with the pre-constructed decks, I was kind of finding my own way through it. That I was able to kind of slowly piece me, because I haven't played a trading card game in a while. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't played a trading card game in since I was in high school, like early high school. Like it's been that long. And I haven't really been used to customizing desks and kind of optimizing for that stuff. And so since then, this game, at least in this game, it just seems like you can kind of just play through it and find out what works, what doesn't during playing, and then you'll toss out or remove cards and then add new ones to kind of test them out and kind of slowly craft your deck around optimizing your kind of play style for it. It's really good, and I highly suggest everybody pick it up if they can, just to check it out. It's not like any other trading card game I've played in quite some time. It's also got like a tower defense. It's a mixture between tower defense and trading card games. So it's not like a pure trading card game. It's got like this tower defense element where you have to destroy the enemy towers on each side, at least 3 of them, to kind of win the game. And then on top of that, it's got a resource structure to it as well, where you have to sacrifice and then kind of build. It almost feels like StarCraft in the beginning, like of the matches. You kind of have to sacrifice cards to build up enough resources so you can start getting going. It's kind of like, making sure you survive those early couple throws so that you can actually pull out like the aircraft carriers, that kind of stuff. So it's a really interesting game, and I think that it's got a lot of potential, maybe for competitive play, especially possibly for the long term, depending on how they support it. Obviously, Mojang supports their games pretty well, so I'm kind of happy to see through it and kind of see how it goes. But so far, it's really good. Mechanics work really great. I haven't seen anything too overpowered so far, and I'm really liking how it's going. You guys have any questions about it, or?
It seriously does not look like the game I'd play.
All right, that's fine.
I mean, it kind of looks like Plants vs. Zombies meets Magic the Gathering online.
Okay.
Basically, it's a
that's
game I will do awful at and get angry at.
I think he might actually be okay at it, dude.
I don't know.
To be
Sorry,
honest.
I just thought about getting angry, and then I remembered because I'm playing Remember Me right now.
How angry you are at that game?
Oh my god, that game!
The combat.
Game is so
You're talking about the combat?
damn cool. The whole layout of the game, the music is phenomenal in that game. The story so far is pretty good. The combat and some of the systems are so awful. I mean, I haven't hit anything in a while, and I decided to punch my desk and gave myself a nice blood blister on my knuckle that hurt like a motherfucker. So I kind of learned my lesson, but I seriously have not gotten that mad playing a game in a long time.
Yeah, I can't even think of a game that I've been that mad at as well. That's surprising though. I mean, you like the combat and everything.
It's got a lot. It should have been worked on a lot more.
And that's kind of what we're kind of hearing for the
But the
most
sad
part.
part is the game
reviews,
is
yeah.
so cool. The music,
everything else is cool.
The
that's
music
the
and the
problem.
atmosphere is fantastic, but the combat and some of the systems just like bring it down. Like the rewind where you actually go into the memory, which kind of odd. I've only done that once, and I'm 25% done in the game.
Yeah, and there's not enough moments of that apparently.
Yeah,
throughout the game.
rewinding it and picking the subjects and altering them. That was really
Yeah.
cool for the first time you did that.
And that's how they originally built the game. They built it as like, hey, you know, you're going to be doing a lot of that. Like, no,
There's
not
not
really.
really that much of it, no.
So that's.
But I mean,
yeah.
I got it for like $37 on Green Man, so
It's, you know, it seemed really
Can't
interesting,
complain.
and it was a game that I'd had, you know, watched there for a while, and was really kind of excited to see how it would turn out. But
I'd seen
Yeah.
a lot of advertising for it, but then when I actually finally saw some gameplay and some video on it, everything just looks a little dirty.
it also came out
grainy.
really quickly. Like it seemed like it was announced and then came out like a couple months later or less than that.
some of
No,
it
it was
does seem
announced
like
like
it's
a year or
rushed,
so
though.
ago, but
I mean, for while I'm
Yeah,
playing it, some of
it's-
it does feel rushed. The dirty aspect of it, Crane, that's because it's all like digital. You know, there's like
yeah, it's like
interference.
Google
Film grain and
Glass
stuff.
over the front of your
Yeah,
face.
it's cool like that. Like once you start playing it, you realize, you know, you don't really notice it. But if you're just watching like a gameplay of it, and you haven't been paying attention to what's going on in the story. I can
Speaking of which, I
understand,
used to love that film grain from Mass Effect. I was disappointed that they took it out. So
Film
film
don't they have
grain's awesome.
Don't they have like a film grain in Left 4 Dead 2?
Yeah.
I just re-downloaded that not about 10 minutes before the podcast, so I can start getting more Steam trading cards. Back to the trading card thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of got that. What? God, it's so crap. It's just another way for me to spend money on Steam, which I will do. And it's like, oh, get
Yep.
these cards for Counter-Strike. I'm like, well, I can go to the store and buy the cards that I need for a total of $5, or I could just buy Counter-Strike for $7.
I like Counter-Strike, yeah. It's pretty good. But
Haven't tried it.
yeah.
I was a
Um,
huge Counter-Strike fan, don't get me wrong. Beta all the way up to 1.6, not even beyond, but ever since Source, I've lost interest.
Because it's the
So-
same thing.
Quite literally, yes.
Yep. So speaking of planting a bomb, we got this whole Microsoft thing.
Oh, whatever.
Fanboy
Every-
away!
Yeah, you guys are really ragging on that.
So is everyone else in the whole
yeah.
world
I
that
know, and
knows
I
that
don't
it's complete
understand
and utter
it.
crap.
So let's just go point by point. I know there's a lot of built up sort of comments and all that
Sure.
stuff. Let's just get into point by point stuff. We'll just go through this and we'll discuss each point, and we'll just take it point by point. All right. No built up drama.
Go. Yes, there is drama
Alright.
to it because it's crap. Day one digital.
So day one digital for all games. Yay! Right? I
Yeah,
mean,
let's put
seriously,
all
like-
that
Fine to
stress
me.
on the developers. All right.
No, I mean
What do you
seriously.
mean? Steam
just kidding.
release,
That's
day
that-
one digital.
I know.
That's
I'm just
perfect.
kidding. So this is probably one of the good things that Xbox is doing. I mean, Steam's been doing
Yeah.
it for years, and you figured, you know, consoles finally catching up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and Sony's been doing it for a while too on a lot of their titles, but a little bit
Well,
less
Xbox
than total.
actually has been too. It's just most people don't think about
So
it.
is PlayStation.
There's a lot of those games right now on 360. You can just download them. People just
Yeah.
don't want to put it on their hard drive, though.
Anyway, so also digital library, basically saying like Steam, no discs are going to be needed. So once you install it and your key is on your system or activated for your account, then it's on there forever and it's accessible anywhere. So you can
Perfect.
access it from anywhere you want. Yay!
So far, so good.
Yeah, so far
What's
so
next?
good. All right. It's good stuff because they leave a lot of the other stuff for the bottom. Anyways, anyone can play your games on your console regardless of whether they're logged in or their relationship to you. So kind of like it was before. Okay, all right, cool. Right?
It's kind of like, you know, normal games.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
we're still maintaining the normal gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
just
there you
that
go.
aspect of it. So we won't say the whole thing. We'll just say that aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
Up to 10 members of your family can log in and play from your shared game library on any Xbox One. Only now they will not just see Forza, but all of your shared games.
Yep.
So you can actually have multiple consoles and all share the same games.
Which sounds really cool from like
Perfect.
a family
But,
angle.
but,
And here's the but. Hold on.
you can always play your games, and any one of your family members can be playing from your shared library at any given time.
Yeah,
Or at
and
a
then
given time.
and then note the any one of your family members
Careful with the wording.
at a given time. So, yeah. So as I highlight in there.
Watch
Is
the
that
verbiage.
really the way it is?
Yeah. So any one of your family members can be playing your shared library at any time. At any given time. At a given
Careful,
time.
watch the
Yeah,
wordage.
Sorry. I'm sorry. This is so fucking confusing because it's so damn confusing.
We here at Microsoft keep everything
See,
ambiguous,
So-
so you can't really interpret.
hold on,
So here's the
on.
deal. Here's the deal.
Yeah,
So
I
your
think you're
main
reading too
console.
much into it.
So your main console can play anything at any point in time, regardless of what your family's playing, and then they can. Any one of your family members can play anything from your shared library at a given time. So if they want to play a game that you currently have access to, and one of your other family members is playing it, they can't play it. They can download it, but they can't play it.
Seriously, none of this makes any sense. The wording is so horrible.
That can't be right.
None of it makes any sense. I know this
That's-
is pulled directly from.
This is lawyer PR
There-
speak. It's
yeah.
got to be specific, otherwise they get sued.
Nah.
it
It doesn't.
doesn't-
Everything about this whole launch so far has been mired in scrutiny, and then later on it's fine. I think people are reading too much into it.
I don't know, man. This is PR speak. This is
I don't know. You
lawyer speak.
remember?
It's
Yeah,
like,
we'll go
Okay,
and wait a little bit
fine.
later. We'll
Hold
wait a
on,
little bit
hold
later.
on. How about this? If you have a Steam account and you have it on 2 different computers, how many times can you boot up Arkham Asylum?
yeah, but
Once.
yeah.
Well, once when nobody said
yeah.
you couldn't boot it
So
up more than
then
twice. More
That's
than once.
not any different. Even if this is true, it's no different than Steam so far.
Yeah, I understand that. And we'll compare the apples and oranges later. This is the problem. This is the problem with this. Obviously, we're PC gamers. We're used to the PC stuff, but the problem is that they'd have a control on it. Like Steam still has to compete with people. Sorry. We'll keep going. We'll discuss this later on.
We'll wait until a little bit later.
We designed the Xbox One, so game publishers can enable you to trade in your games at participating retailers. Microsoft does not charge a platform fee to retailers, publishers, or consumers for enabling transfers of good games. So that's good. So yeah, it's less fucked than the original one, except that game publishers can enable you, so they can elect to not enable you to trade in your games at participating retailers, is what they're basically saying.
Which means that they're going to say, okay, we're going to leave it up to the publishers to decide that. So
Yeah.
everyone gets mad at the publishers and not at us.
And one of the guys on a forum thread on NeoGAF, which I forget the guy's name, made a good point where it was like, who's to say that the publishers won't like disable your ability to trade in games for like the first 30 days? Like that'll just become a policy where they just don't allow you to turn it in for the first 30 days, but if you want to turn it in after that, then you can turn it in after that.
Again, sounds fine to me.
All right.
Well, you're normally used to just bending over and letting corporations just kind of go here.
I don't trade
This
in my
is
games
how it's
either.
going to be.
Yeah,
I don't trade in my games. I buy them and I keep them.
understand.
I don't care how
Yeah,
dusty
of course
they
it's
are.
going to be fine
sit
for
on
you.
the
It's
shelf.
not going to be
Alright.
fine for the normal person who actually has to save up money to go buy a fucking game.
the problem is that this is the console. This is a different market. This is not the PC. You're talking about people who generally try to trade in games and keep. Yeah. Anyways, it's a different market. We obviously accept it because we're PC and we've been used to it and we're fine with it because we're fine with being fucked. But we also get great deals in games from like Green Man and other sources that are able to compete with Steam because they buy keys from other sources like the publishers themselves. Anyways, on giving games there are only 2 requirements. You can only give, there are 2 requirements. You can only give them to people who have been on your friends list for at least 30 days. And each game can only be given once. I don't know about you guys, but saying given once sounds like you're giving them forever and not lending. Or am I completely wrong here? Maybe I'm jumping, speculating.
That sounds like you're done with the game. Here you go, buddy. You can play it.
Yeah.
So people just can't transfer them all along. So I don't know.
I don't know. It's vague enough that like Microsoft could say, "Oh no, it's just the miswording. You can kind of lend it and take it back." It just means that you can only do that once and then take it back. Correct?
So why don't you just add them to your family plan?
Well,
I'm perfectly
just let
fine
them
with
play
this.
it later.
Perfectly fine with this.
Now, I don't understand how they're doing that, because from what I'm gathering, they're going to do like a PC style CD key that you'll enter on your console,
Yeah.
and then later on you will be allowed to give it away later on.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then at that point you're probably done with the game if you're willing to give it away.
Yeah, that's true. But it stays on their system forever. You're basically revoking your rights at that point. It's not like you can't say, I don't know, maybe it's different with other people, but with video games, there are plenty of times where I think, oh yeah, I really want to play that game now, and then there's no way for me to ask for my copy back. At some point.
I've still
down
got
the line.
tons of games on Steam right now that I haven't played.
I tend to revisit a lot of games, but I also tend to, especially on the
So
consoles.
if you give it away,
Yeah.
go buy another copy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh
Anyways.
no, that's.
Oh.
I'm
Anyways,
just gonna throw my money around. Hold on, let me. There's some more.
By the
There's
time
some
you want
more
to play it
to
again,
that. What you were saying, Sato. Basically,
I know.
give your games to friends. Xbox One is designed so game publishers can enable you to give your disc-based games to your friends. So not digital, your disc-based games to your friends.
Yeah.
So you can let your friend borrow it. There are no fees charged as part of these transfers. There are 2 requirements, though. You can only give them to people who have been on your friends list for at least 30 days, and each game can only be given once.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the wording on that is very ambiguous.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the problem, I think, with a lot of this stuff, is that it's just really vague. It can kind of be anywhere. Like, Microsoft can just do whatever they want with these policies later if people just don't like them, I guess, and just, finagle them a little bit. But anyways, future of games is digital, but I don't know about you guys, but it just feels like they're locking everything down more and more. Obviously, Steam, we've already known that they have to compete with other retailers and other people because they buy, the set keys from other developers or, publishers. They don't have, they are able to compete with other people. And unfortunately with this whole system, it seems like Microsoft is transitioning to a world, at least maybe not with this console generation, but maybe next, where they've locked everything down to download only and can only, make it a fiat system where they control everything, to the point where they don't have to change prices. They can just sell it to you at full price at all, forever, and never have to lower their costs of games.
Yeah, we talked about this before, about them going to a full digital service. I still don't see that happening. I mean, if it does, somebody else will just come out with
the Apple Store.
Just a hard copy. Somebody will compete with that all the time.
Yeah.
Right, but what I'm saying, it's if they go digital that way, it's like the Apple Store.
Yeah.
And iPhone and iPods and all those things from there are very locked down.
Right.
I mean, that's a singular platform, just like this would be. So it's something that if they go that route, they're going to have to lock it down so that you can't have a lot of things floating in and out through that, or else you run into a lot of other issues.
Yeah, if I had to be always online to listen to my music, I would pirate every single thing of music that I have and crack all of it.
And that's the other thing. Like, how long is it going to take for hackers to get? I mean, this is obviously going to be the big prize, right? And like finding a way to crack it so that you can just play, because it's all based on console keys, anyways. Like, it's all based on licensed keys. It'll be, because everything's download only and it's all based on your library. It seems like it'll be even easier to compromise from a hacking standpoint and allow you to just basically just install it on the disc and then just don't worry about it, because there's no DRM protection on the disc, it seems like. I mean, at this point, everything is based on console keys anyways.
Just get an online spoof that spoofs the server and bam, there you go.
Yeah,
right. That's what I was just going to say, is you could close loop a LAN and make the Xbox loop back on itself.
Hell, look what they did to
validate.
You remember Xbox back in the day? If you didn't want to get the Xbox Live, this is for the Xbox One, you could just hook it up to the computer, go through, I forgot who manipulated the servering system, and basically set it up like Hamachi.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
they already have that for Xbox. They already have that for 360.
Oh, do they? I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't been following that.
X-Live.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It exists.
And there's a lot of people that play it, I bet.
So, and that's the thing. I mean,
quite a few.
I just think that they're gonna, hackers are gonna figure out a way, and because it's not based on CD anymore, because you don't have to go through this whole rigmarole of soldering systems and getting that stuff in there, it seems like this will all be software based, and it'll be a much easier process for hackers to get access to it. And then once that happens, it'll be just an easier sort of thing to pirate games at that point.
It depends on the encryption, though. I mean, they're getting smarter with the encryption. How long did it take them to finally crack the PlayStation 3? A year before they replace it with a PlayStation 4?
I because it's all based on server authentication at this point. That's the thing. That's the reason why I think it's gonna be.
It was firmware.
Well,
it was
It's
the
easy. Let's
firmware
not go
of
into the bits and the
yeah,
bytes. And
I understand that,
let's not
but
go
I'm
too
talking
far
about
into it.
Anyways, I just think that's obviously going to be the crown jewel for a lot of these hackers, and people are going to try their best to get rid of it once it comes out. And I think that I foresee it being easier than the disk-based solution to compromise personally, but I could be wrong. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But what's your guys' thoughts
I think
on?
that's such a side note to them that they really just don't care.
Yeah, sure.
They put in a basic amount of encryption so that the average person doesn't know how to do it. That's pretty much the point.
Sure.
Because if you want to do that, that exists. It exists now for PlayStation and Xbox to play,
Sure.
offline as much as you want.
So, what do you guys think overall of this solution? Any thoughts on it?
I think it's a
I guess since I'm the rich guy.
It's a piss poor attempt on regulating your console. I mean, hell, look at Game of Thrones. I tried finding... Well, I'm putting Game of Thrones out there because you can't find Game of Thrones anywhere else except for HBO Go. And I want to put money out there to find Game of Thrones. And the only way I can watch it is if I buy it. Like, and fucking... for a hard disk. Can you get it on iTunes?
No. You can get it on Amazon and I think iTunes, but it's past seasons. So you can buy the past seasons. Obviously, you can't buy any current stuff, but it's more because of
HBO's supporting itself.
Yeah, supporting itself like that. Yeah,
that's how that does it. They want you to get Xfinity, and they want you to watch it on HBO.
Because they have subsidies from cable providers, and they allow them to continue doing their business. So, and as recently HBO has started to think about, opening that system up for a la carte purchases, but they're still sort of thinking about it. They haven't said anything on it.
Yeah, if they come out with HBO Go where you can actually subscribe to it instead of having to be subscribed to a cable provider, I'd totally jump on board because that's like Netflix.
They're just
I would probably get rid of my cable TV at that point.
Yeah,
and they don't want to do that.
Yeah. So, I really back to the thing. I just feel like they're constantly closing this loop. Obviously, it's going to happen at some point, and they're gonna figure out a way to close the loop. And unlike Steam, I think that they don't really have any competition at that point, especially for first party games and also third party stuff. There's possibility for all the third party guys to decide to do whatever the hell they want on that end, and because it's all just based on the publishers and what they feel like, and no publisher's going to turn down all that money to allow people to be able to trade in and sell their games to retailers and other places. So I just have a feeling that this is all going to be completely fucked. Like it's going to be just constantly people going on forums trying to do word of mouth, like which game is able to be turned in when, and when is it going to be, all this other stuff, and that their houses and the developers is constantly telling people misleading information on that. I just feel like it's going to be the shadiest fucking thing in the world.
No, I think everybody's overthinking it. They really are.
Because the problem, right now,
they're
the
only
is so
new console
ambiguous.
Because it's not out yet.
Yeah, but it's coming out at the end of the fucking year. You think you'd have the pre-orders and all your solid information down.
Because they're still trying to compete with PlayStation, which was my point, is that PlayStation's not saying...
Yeah, and that's the Microsoft dig the grave.
Hold on. Karen, I was actually going to go on that and bring it on to that. That's the other thing, Sleeper. The one thing I think the internet is missing right now, and the sort of hate Microsoft bandwagon that's going on right now, is that Sony's fucking doing it too, and they've even said it in their press release. They said like they're going to enable publishers to be able to allow or disallow this stuff, and basically saying almost word for word the same thing that Microsoft is going to do, except that Microsoft is doing it from the console level, and Sony's going to let the publishers decide it from their level. So they're going to let the publishers take the blunt. But who the fuck as a publisher is going to change their systems on different platforms? They're not going to want to do that because they're going to sell more copies on the other systems. So it's all going to be the same.
So they're just going to leave their current thing alone. They're not going to change a damn thing.
Yeah, and Sony is just going to sit there back, in the back, not be upfront about it, and just kind of, dance around the vagaries while everybody just hates on Microsoft. It's the most dishonest
because
shit in the
digital
world.
distribution is becoming a more accepted thing, that they have to put out this verbiage, basically, to saying, we're going to do this, and it's going to allow you to do all these cool things, but there will be some restrictions. We'll get to that when we actually get around to it, but it'll exist. And that's basically what they're trying to say, but everybody's jumping on their shit.
Because they shouldn't have said anything at all with their wording and everything.
It's E3 coming up, and they had the pre-E3 press release.
So come out sounding like a fucking idiot to begin with. Why not?
I kind of agree with
you.
You
remember back when they said
the
whole online DRM thing came up,
saying.
when they were talking about the once every 24-hour check? When that started coming up as a rumor, and that one guy posted it and said, oh, everyone should have an internet connection by now, and that dude got fired, and Microsoft said that, no, nothing's set in stone. And then all of a sudden they come out and say, yep, once every 24-hour console check.
Yeah, I just think in one way, obviously I'll agree with you a little bit on that, Corain, and I understand, and I also do agree with Sleeper on this front, just because I think you're talking about a different market. This is all coming to a head in a generation. It's coming to head in a little more than 6 months. If you think back to Steam when they were having to, remember all the hate for Steam early in the day?
No, I was all for it.
But I remember all the hate for Steam. I was there on day one.
Yes, Steam, digital.
Yes,
it's digital library. Keep all my stuff.
I understand that.
Ecstatic.
I understand that, but the difference between then and now is that
you're
talking about two different groups. You're talking about two different groups of people. You're talking about the fact that you're talking about people with much less money to spend. That's the whole reason why they buy consoles to begin with. They don't have a lot of expendable income. So you're kind of rocking their world at the same time. It's both on the pocketbook and on the other end as well, from just a privacy and concern and digital distribution, all that stuff like that. Most people who are console players don't really have the time to spend all that money, and they just kind of exchange games and use games and all that stuff. So
sure, but my theory on it all is there was a statement that was made at one time, probably about 5-6 years ago, saying that until there's something that is a draw that is big enough and popular enough where it requires the internet all the time, people won't adopt high-speed internet. We finally have a major company saying, here's this new game console, it requires an internet connection.
Yeah, I know.
Period. And that will draw people into buying more internet. If that's what it takes to get internet providers to start offering better pricing and get their shit together and give us some better stuff with
you're using too much
huge influx of new people, then great. I don't care. It's going to be great.
I don't know if they're doing us a favor.
Yeah, that's horrible. Sorry, Isha in the chat said, yeah, so they're doing us a favor, right.
But I would agree, though, on one front, that yes, ISPs need to get their act together because they're just the same as fucking greedy, and they're concerned with their shareholders and pretty much nothing else.
Well, that's all it's going to take is for a private company, a la Google, to start putting out their own stuff out there and start pushing the other market away. And of course, Google's going to be winning.
So if you get an influx of low-income people that want to spend a lot of time on the internet, they're going to want decent speeds.
Yeah.
And they're going to want it
You're
cheap.
never going to see the console prices go down, just like you're never going to see the game prices go down. Never. It's already a standard.
What we're talking about is internet connections.
I know, but you're talking about internet connections. You're talking about Google forcing everyone else to lower their prices.
No,
Well,
that's not what I'm
not
talking
only
about. I'm
Google,
talking
yeah, but
about
yeah.
because Microsoft and PlayStation are going to be requiring internet now, you're going to see a lot more people trying to get just internet.
Yeah. No,
And they're going to want cable, and they're going to want decent speed so they can play online.
yeah, and I somewhat agree with
That'll
that.
create a huge adoption rate, which will start helping to push better internet.
PlayStation's
I
not going
somewhat
to
ag-
require an internet connection, though.
Right.
It's gonna. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
The thing is though, at the same time, you're talking about games that are like 40 plus gigabytes of data. Nobody's gonna want to sit there forever. And yeah, I kind of agree with you that it's gonna be more apparent, especially for those people once they start having to download these games. But yeah, it's gonna take some time. I don't necessarily think it's gonna be overnight, obviously. But yeah, I would like to see the whole era of you're using too much bandwidth and scream at you because shake your fist and we're going to charge you extra money because you don't use enough. And people not, at the point right now, a lot of people are in this country, having to deal with, overage caps and overcharges and other stuff like that for internet connections. And we're to a point right now
Yeah.
where, for instance, this next generation of of internet for your phone, the new 5G that's going to be coming out eventually here, is actually going to be faster than most of America's internet connections, except it's over the air. So there you go. It's a good example of how fucked up our networks are.
Well,
on
even
landline.
then, it's because fiber is so expensive. And it really is an issue. And even now, working in certain data centers, they're replacing older fiber with new fiber. They're going to single mode rather than multi-mode. And the speeds they can get out of it are just significantly higher. We're talking
Sure.
40 gig fiber going between net devices and so on and out to the dark fiber on the street. You're looking at huge amounts of transfer rate. I mean, that's just one fiber. Now you take a bundle of that, and you're looking at thousands of gigs very quickly.
Yeah, I know.
How about we just put
so
out
anyways.
we just put out like the 30 megabyte lines. I think I'd be fine with that because right now I'm only downloading at 7. So if I could download it like 30, I think I'd be happy. And then they can save up all that money.
You can download more than that.
Oh, I know I can.
But
we can't just always put out the fact that it costs too damn much. If we have the technology, quit making newer technology that costs so goddamn much.
You know what? It'll be the fucking internet age, golden age for me. If I can fucking watch a YouTube clip without seeing it constantly fucking buffer.
Dude.
Yeah, so
okay,
there we go.
Yeah, here's a tangent for fucking YouTube on how
pole.
much I hate YouTube right now. Does anyone else have a problem when you're watching YouTube on your device that if it's in high quality, it takes longer to buffer the video than it does to watch the damn thing?
Yeah. I have that all the time. And it's not just my device, it's also my computer and everything else. It's just like I'll watch a HD movie for a while and then all of a sudden just buffer.
I'm glad you're watching the buffering channel.
But then I'll go and try to download a file, and then download a file will be quick as hell.
I guess I'm currently lucky. Xfinity just updated out here, so we're getting like 75 down and 15 up.
Well, what are you actually getting though? I mean, right now my connection is 60 down, 30 up.
It's about it varies between 55 and 75.
But I actually download at 7.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, it is coming. They are upgrading as they go along and allowing people more access. It just needs to get kicked into high gear. That's all I'm saying.
So, on a side note, you can now turn your Kinect off.
I want Corinne to read that. No. Let's have Corinne read that.
All right. Go ahead, Corinne.
You do that one, Corinne.
You can turn the Kinect off.
Read it. Read the whole damn thing. Read it.
Oh, you want me to read the prison part too?
Yeah.
Even though Microsoft has emphatically denied being part of it? I'll read this, but it's not right. You can turn the Kinect off. You can. The only thing is that it still has to be plugged into the back. But you can turn it off. And it can't see anything, and it can't hear anything.
It can still hear. It can still hear phrases like Xbox on, even when turned off. That's what they said.
So the microphone still works,
Yeah.
but the camera's
Yes.
off.
So anyways, I'll just read this since you're not.
No, I'll
anyway,
finish it.
so the Prism system, for those that don't know, was unveiled. A big, massive snooping thing, and Microsoft is a big partner in that. And anyways, there was a bunch of journos recently that put out a couple of articles talking about like how the Microsoft new Kinect could be used by the NSA and might have direct access to your Kinect at any point in time in your living room.
I'm watching you masturbate,
Working
Dave.
for Microsoft. Hold on. Working for Microsoft, the privacy policy is a golden rule. If they were initially in talks with the NSA regarding this program,
They were not initially. They were on board. They were a partner.
they were a partner and they dropped out because they could not give unsolicited information out to the NSA. It was against their privacy policies. They didn't do it. They weren't part of it.
Sure. Okay. All right. Anyways, tinfoil hat. I know. Anyway.
I got I saw the emails internally.
Okay.
At least what they were telling us.
They were also
They
saying
were
that
not
they weren't
part of the
spying
prison.
on us, but apparently the government lies to us too.
That's fine, but I'm just telling you, as a corporation, the policy line that I'm hearing is they weren't part of it. They were part of the initial spin up of the program until they realized that it was against everything that they were doing. They couldn't be part of it. They thought it was going to be no. They thought it was going to be on a subpoena based system, just like any other normal government agency would have to subpoena information. But the Prism system was just open access for them, for the government, and that's why they backed out of it, because it wasn't subpoena based, it wasn't targeted, it was just open, and that's why they backed out.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll see in the long term. I don't know. I don't necessarily have a
couple
problem
weeks down
with
the
it.
road.
Well, look at that. It did turn out they were working with
Although I don't have a problem with it, but although I don't masturbate in front of my camera, so
them all the time.
there you go.
Those are couch cushions, Dave.
Shut up, Kinect.
Anyways, also the once every you already talked about that. Anyways, moving on. So there are a bunch of pre-E3 reveals. Let's talk about that so that we can start moving our way to the end of the podcast at some point.
Meh.
So Fallout 4 possibly Xbox One exclusive and being shown at the presser apparently. Also apparently now on a list for PS4, so that's kind of been a little bit debunked, but it may be at least be exclusive to their press conference.
Anybody else burnt on open world RPG first person games?
Not me.
Yeah, me either. I love Skyrim.
I'm done with Skyrim. I'm done with Fallout. I'm done
with Elder Scrolls games, but not.
Dude,
I mean, I was all hyped for Destiny, and then I thought about it more and more, and I'm just like, I just can't see myself spending another 80, 90 hours in a first-person non-shooter.
Okay.
have you played Red Dead
I
Redemption?
mean, I know Fallout really is one, but
Destiny's a
Red Dead?
is a full-on shooter. What are you talking about?
I know.
right. I mean,
Didn't say it wasn't. I mean,
Oh,
it's
okay.
Skyrim and Fallout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fallout's a little more shootery, but not as much as like Destiny
No,
will
yeah,
be.
definitely not.
Destiny's probably just gonna be a larger scale
Destiny's
Borderlands
so
2.
good. I can't wait for Destiny's.
Yeah.
If Gus is doing the whole
But yeah.
voiceover for the whole game, oh,
I wouldn't be surprised if he's a character at some point. Yeah.
Sorry.
So
I hope
so
Bunch of
anyways, we're
Contracts
completely
made
off the
them
board. So I'm the only one that's really hyped for Fallout 4. Sleeper?
I think so. I mean, I was a fan of it, but I don't
I
know
didn't
if I
play
care about
Fallout
another one.
1 or 2, and I bought
Oh,
Fallout
yeah,
3 and
you
played
did-
about
yeah,
an
you
hour
did.
of it,
Oh
and
my
I
God.
sucked ass at it. I'm sorry I downloaded
my
it. Nobody
God.
wanted to help me play it because I'm an idiot.
Anyways, Ubisoft teases Beyond Good and Evil again. So
Again.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
And again.
Yeah.
Again.
I'll believe it when I see it, right?
What's it? What are we at now? 12 years.
Yeah, it's
almost?
been a while.
Yeah, I just don't care.
Anyways, Sleeper. Any feelings for Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Nothing really. I'm switching. Hold on. I need to switch the upload stream.
Okay. Your microphone's also lagging up pretty bad.
Yeah, it's my net.
I think that was you.
No, it's me.
Sato's been cracking.
Test, digitize. Am I lagging? Lagging?
Okay.
Yes, no, yes, no.
No.
No. Okay.
Alright, changing it over. 1 second. Back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
And California's stream is still crap.
No, maybe if you were in California.
Anyway, so let's keep moving on. We have the local recording if we have to. I need to see if you can get it going, Sleeper. So Tales of Xillia trailer came out also, which I guess
Is this another Tales
Yes.
game?
Tales of games.
DuckTales?
Yeah. No, Tales of games.
I beta. I was in for testing on Tales of Grace's F.
Yeah,
It
the game was awesome.
That was my first real introduction to Tales, and I never really got a chance to finish it because I didn't stay on at that
That game
company.
was awesome.
But
Yep.
yeah, I wish I had more time to spend on JRPGs.
It's a similar sort of concept, I mean, to all the animated cutscenes and all that stuff that you would normally see in, let's say, what's that JRPG that recently come out that I really liked? I forget what it was. Ni no Kuni, yeah, there we go. Like, where it has, like, cutscenes and all that stuff, fully animated stuff, and voiceovers and stuff. So it seemed really cool from that front. Don't really know too much on how well it'll end up doing, but, seems interesting. Sleeper, I'm sure, does could care less about a JRPG.
I don't even know what the J stands for in JRPG.
Japanese role-playing
Japanese.
No.
Final Fantasy. Oh wait, they suck.
Loco Cycle trailer came out again. New one. This one apparently going to be Xbox One. Coming out on the Xbox One on launch day, apparently.
Loco Cycle?
Yeah, Loco Cycle. From the Twisted Pixel team, the guys who made, Explosion Man and all that stuff. More like indie
Oh,
based.
I think I heard about that recently. Yeah.
Explosion Man, and then like Gunstringer. It's the most recent game that they made.
Yeah, a Kinect game.
Yeah.
Which
Was actually really good, apparently.
Well, yeah, but you'd have to own a Kinect.
Yeah.
And I don't.
So also, new Deus Ex is a fucking mobile game.
Oh wait. I can add in. So's the new Halo game.
Yes. Yeah. Sleeper.
What?
Seriously? Come on.
Yep, there's a Halo and Deus Ex mobile game.
Yeah, there's like a Geometry Wars clone for Halo.
Yeah, it's a top-down, weird little shooter game. Yeah.
I want to die.
We're going to a larger audience.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Apple Store.
such crap.
Just awful.
Yeah, Microsoft producing for the Apple Store.
Anyways,
didn't
let's
think
get to the
about
good
that.
stuff. So we got through all this shit. We got through all this shit right there. All right. So we got Murdered Soul Suspect. To me, is the most original game of this year so far on this show.
What was that tagline that Kotaku recently said about it? What if John McClane had died?
I don't know about that.
I was like, what? They were talking about this game, the Murdered Soul
Did
Suspect.
you guys see it?
No, I didn't see that one.
No, I didn't have a chance to look at the trailer. I was just reading through some of the other materials.
Yeah, so basically you play as a cop that died, and he's got to like research his death, and there's sort of like manipulation of objects as a human being. It's in Salem, so it's got a bunch of like witch stuff involved in it too. So it's all like part horror in some realm with a thriller and mystery going on inside of it as well. Seems really, really interesting. It's not like any other game that I've seen for quite some time. So if you have a chance to check it out, then that's cool.
Do you play as a ghost?
Yeah, you play as a ghost. You play as him. and he's got the ability to
I see
manipulate
dead people.
objects, and he's gonna investigate who killed him, and then like show the
Do
cops or
something
something.
about.
Yeah. It's kind of like Ghost, yeah, the film, or Ghost Dad.
I have to
Either
watch
one.
I guess I have to watch the trailer because the way I imagine it, it sounds awful.
Do you remember Ghost Dad?
No.
Yes, unfortunately.
I remember Ghost Dad. I saw that in the theater. I saw it for free, and I
The
still
theater?
hated it.
Wow.
Yeah. Ghost Dad.
Yeah, the theater. You'd think those would have
Ugh.
disappeared the way that games are going to just digital, right?
Oh,
Right,
No,
guys, right?
Well, sorry.
Anyways, Dying Light. That was an awful joke. Dying Light. Is another zombie game from Techland. Sleeper. You're on board?
I didn't see the video, but I'm always down for zombie games. But I'm still waiting for.
Techland, the guys who made your zombie game. What was that called again? Forget what it's called.
Daisy?
No, the other one,
Dead
the
Island? No, it's not
RPG.
Dead Island.
Dead Island. Yes,
Is it
Dead
Dead
Island.
Island?
Yep. It's Techland. Techland makes that.
I didn't know Techland did that.
Yep. It's basically parkour plus Dead Island. It looks like in the trailer.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I think I saw the video for that. Yeah.
No. I'm still
But,
waiting for.
It's a free runner.
Yeah.
Free running, first person free
I'm
runner.
Yeah, I
still
don't know.
waiting for a
Against
good.
zombies.
Just seriously, you don't think that if they came out with a zombie MMO that people wouldn't eat that up?
Yeah, just
No
hasn't
pun
been done
intended.
As long as
well
it's
yet.
not,
Yeah.
as long as it's not an MMORPG. I just want an
No, I-
MMO.
yeah, like-
I want a shooter.
Well,
I
then you
want
have
it to
DayZ.
be survival.
Yeah, the problem is.
Yeah, but I want it to be not stupid.
Yeah, the problem is they have yet to figure out a good way of doing it, right? Because you have to think about the gameplay element to do it, and if you were to put it in an MMORPG, then what's to say like, hey, oh yeah,
Limited.
let's
I see maybe
just
limited.
make a bunch of really big zombies, like make a towering zombie sleeper.
But
that
we're
you
not
have to
going
fight
to
as
have.
a
we're-
raid.
No. Our game is not going to have giant creatures or zombies. Oh, wow,
Raid
look at that! It
boss.
does.
Anyways,
No, I mean
it's an
seriously,
inside joke there.
I'm done with every other game if they actually come out with a zombie MMO. I mean, it doesn't even have to be an RPG like Crane was saying, or it could be limited. But
Like a good one, like somebody like a respectable developer do one, like Bungie or Blizzard. Like I don't know, somebody big like do a zombie MMO.
if you can incorporate the way DayZ puts you immersed into the world and the fear of other players, and you actually have that "I don't want to die" aspect to it into an MMO of some sorts, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it seems like a hard nut to crack on that genre, but it seems like if somebody cracked through it and made it a good one, yeah, it could be pretty popular. So also DuckTales, new trailer.
Woo!
Yeah, and it actually I think sold the game to me because the original trailer I thought looked awful. From
Really?
my end,
I
yeah,
thought it looked
I
pretty
didn't
good.
like the way that it looked. It was something about the 3D versus the 2D going on, but yeah, I kind of dig
I
it
don't
right
know.
now.
I was looking at the original trailer too, and I was looking at it because I remember playing the original
Yeah.
one on my SNES.
Play the shit out of that game,
Mm-hmm.
Sleeper.
DuckTales.
All right,
DuckTales.
I got
dude,
it. I know.
was
I had it
awesome.
when I was a kid, but I don't.
all right.
You won't play it, so I'll just go and say that now. You
I
won't
will.
be
If
buying
I can get it on Steam, I will.
buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I will. Totally will.
Nostalgia.
$10 on Steam.
10
So
bucks.
might actually
Hell
even
no.
stream it. Might even stream it. So we also have Infamous talking up their capturing. Does anyone care about this?
Infamous.
Infamous, the new Infamous game.
Yeah, I don't know. I played the last two when I just got my PlayStation.
I like the first one. I didn't care for the way that they took it in 2.
I didn't even know they came out with a second one.
2 wasn't even that bad. It was just they tightened up the graphics,
character
but
stuff
then let go of the
sucks.
control.
Like
And
there's
yeah,
story blew after that. They had like no direction, and I just don't have any faith in where they're taking
well,
the story stuff.
I think it was one of those games that they created right when choices matter was such a big thing. I just don't care. I just want them to give me a
Yeah.
game to play. I want a story, and I want them to tell me a story. I don't want a choice. Fine, give me Mass Effect style choices, but don't give me these blatantly obvious red and blue. I don't care.
So we got a new Wolfenstein trailer. That's out for E3.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yeah, that'll be
Yes, I
interesting.
love
That-
Wolfenstein.
I still
Looks
I
awesome.
still have my original Wolfenstein patch, iron-on patch from my special edition from the
I
last
remember
one.
Wolfenstein
geez.
being one of the first computer games that I played.
Yeah, same here.
Mhm. Yep.
I played it before Doom. Yeah, it came up before Doom, right?
Yeah.
I played the crap out of that game before Doom,
Wolfenstein 3D.
and then Doom came out, and then that took over my life after that. And I thought like it could do
Yeah, but I
nothing
was-
wrong.
I always loved playing Wolfenstein because of the hidden areas and secret stuff and finding all the gold
Yeah.
and the treasure.
Yeah, it was like it was Doom. It was Return to Castle Wolfenstein. It was Wing
Casual. I like
Commander.
how you say casual.
Yep. Yeah.
Did I throw you off?
Yeah.
You like Doom and
Anyways.
Castle Wolfenstein and
Anyways,
Mac, I
Duke
so yeah,
Nukem and
that trailer is really good. People should watch it. I really like it. I think it's really well done. I think the game actually looks good from everything I've seen of the demos and stuff like that they're showing
Well,
off.
the last one looked really good too, but it had its problems.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this one comes
Yeah,
out.
but a lot of people loved Return to Castle Wolfenstein. They loved it. Like it was really good in competitive gaming. It was really well
Sure,
liked.
just not the
Yeah,
last
it's-
one. Return to
Wait,
Castle Wolfenstein was
the
good.
most
There was another
recent
one?
There was
Yeah,
there was
the
a
most
middle
recent
one. Yeah,
bombed.
the most recent one.
Yeah,
bad.
I just heard it was destroyed.
Really bad.
That's why I never picked it up.
I never even saw it.
Yeah,
Like
it
I
came
honestly
out of-
like
Yeah, there was another one, and it was just
What that dude? That came out
Phew,
like maybe 2
yeah.
or 3 years ago. It's not so long ago that it came out.
Let me look at the timeline on those.
I don't
I'm
remember.
surprised I don't even remember it. Honestly, I don't even remember it coming out. Which is surprising.
Let's see, Wolfenstein series.
As he checks it,
So there was a Wolfenstein 2009,
don't even
and then
remember.
before that was Wolfenstein Enemy Territory in 2003,
Yeah.
and Return to Castle Wolfenstein in 01.
Yeah, Enemy
Which
Territory
I had
was great.
Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and they don't even show. Yeah, there it is. Microsoft Windows. Okay.
Yeah, Enemy Territory
So-
was awesome.
Well, yeah, because that was an expansion on the original Return to Castle Wolfenstein. It was the standalone multiplayer. Enemy Territory was. It was based on Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah, and there was the free to play one. Yeah, that was Enemy Territory. Yeah, that was good. It was great.
Yeah. Now, there was another one, most recently in 09, that sucked.
Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about Enemy Territory Crake Wars, which I played?
Nope.
No.
Wolfenstein 2009.
I don't even know what it is. Honestly.
Yeah. It's all about the mystic side. And there were blue, glowy skeleton Nazis and all kinds of stupid
Oh yeah,
things.
that one. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. No, I remember that one now.
Yep, it was IdTech 4 or whatever
Yeah,
the
that
hell
one
it
was that sucked. Anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
It
it was
really
that Doom
was.
3. It was that was yeah. Anyways, yeah, that sucked. Yeah,
Mhm.
no way to sort of sugarcoat that one. Hellraid trailer came out. Sleeper, Techland again. This one in Gothic Town.
Yeah, we'll see.
What?
They
You don't
said
think it
they-
looks good?
I saw a little bit of it, but I mean, they're coming out with a lot of stuff. So which one are they going to rush out first? Being it took
They
them
have two
so long
teams.
to
They have the
come
A
out
team
with.
and the B team.
Yeah, but what other games other than Dead Island have they put out?
Nothing really. I mean, well, they have put out a bunch of other games as well in the past. Techland is notoriously known for having like an A team and a B team, to where like they'll put out a second game and then that game will be done by the B team, and it's notoriously bad quality versus their main staff, and they're kind of always 50-50 typically on releases, so it's usually good or bad.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of worried.
I guess we'll see. It looks interesting. I mean, honestly, it looks kind of neat. I mean, people like most of the press sites seem to kind of like it because it's got like a stealth element to it. Plus, there's more on the horror element, makes it a little bit less monotonous, and on the XP and grinding side that Dead Island had. So it seems like it maybe innovates a little bit on that stuff. or at least evolves it a
Now
little
on to the star
Are you
of the
trying to say
show.
Dead Island was grindy?
bit. Yeah, yeah, it was grinding. I played
Zombie
it on the
MMORPG.
Xbox.
Oh wait,
I know what Dead Island's like. Fan.
I couldn't get into it.
You want to announce this one, Sleeper?
We
I don't think
all
anybody wants to touch
grew
that
up
one.
with it. I mean, yeah, actually we did. I know I was
Yeah, we
hitting the
did.
tail end of it. You and Kareem would probably sit in front of the TV. Too old to
Mhm.
watch it, but regardless, you got forced to. Fantasia, and I'm not talking about the American Idol winner.
It's where I first got my first boner
Oh,
off of Fantasia
God.
because it had nudie bits in
Was
it.
it the
was a
broom
cartoon.
scene, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Those sexy brooms, you sexy
No,
bitch and
no.
bristles.
No, it was
The Sorcerer
it was
Apprentice
the
scene?
pixie.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Anyways.
What, naked Disney
Yeah.
pixies?
Oh!
Oh no! Oh my! Yeah, they won't do that ever.
No, we're giving birth to another era of people who think they can sing and dance and they can't, and well, we're gonna get another
Wow.
version of
Yeah.
Auto-Tune.
Xbox One Kinect launch trailer or launch game, Fantasia. Yeah, if you even have a soul, don't look it up.
But in case you don't, make
Guessing
sure you
it's
guys
that
check the
bad.
notes because we have the link in there.
Well,
Yeah,
feel free to check it out. It's soul crushing is the best way I can describe
Gonna
it.
be awful.
yeah,
You didn't, but all the effects,
and my
though,
soul
come on.
hurts from seeing it.
You're gonna be dancing there without your shirt on to poker face. I mean, it's just inevitable.
I think it's actually worse than the Star Wars.
Oh, you know what I just realized?
Kinect game.
I can recreate. I can recreate Katy Perry's Firework.
So do it.
Oh my god, really? You guys haven't heard that song or seen that video?
I've seen it. Anyways,
She got the voice of.
no.
Did you see the fireworks part in the Fantasia video? She put her hands up in the air and there was just like fireworks, and then somebody did like a
just wanna blow
Goku
my
or
brains
something.
out.
I mean, it was sweet, and then there was just this like power orb around the guy. I mean, come on, it's like a dance off. I hate the plan. Look out! Everyone's gonna be dancing in front of a Kinect from now on.
Anyways, I'm gonna move this thing on. I hate that fucking thing. So Elder Scrolls started to show off more of their first-person camera stuff, and they showed off some more Pre-E3 of their game. So yeah, it looks janky. I don't know. I don't know about Elder Scrolls Online, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't sold 100% on it, so it's more like we're gonna have to see and just wait.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Also, Metal Gear Solid Online, or Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, Snake's voice by... Why put that in there again? Why is that in there again? We know that.
We didn't talk about it.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
I called him.
We rumored it
Yeah,
before.
what are you talking about?
Oh, now it's confirmed?
You guys
yeah, I
called
called it.
Yeah,
Oh, now it's
we
confirmed.
said that it was going to be Kiefer Sutherland, and now they confirmed it. It's Kiefer Sutherland.
There we go.
Why are you putting confirmed stuff in there? What are you, Microsoft?
Yay.
This means I have to play it because both my favorite universes of all fiction like,
Masturbating
collide.
to Jack Bauer and Metal
Yeah.
Gear Solid collide.
Jack Bauer is Solid Snake, man, dude. It's amazing.
Yeah, because I can't make Kurt Russell do it. They're about the same fucking age.
Yep.
Kurt Russell is... Solid Snake is based off of Kurt Russell. Come on.
Yeah, I know he is, but
Give
what is Kurt?
give him
what
a
is-
bone, dude.
Dude,
He's
what has
not
Kurt
in
Russell
anything.
done? Like
Exactly.
his-
What is Jack
you know what I
Bauer
rewatched
done?
recently?
Kiefer
I
Sutherland. It's
rewatched
fucking crap.
Escape from New York. No, he's not.
Yes, he...
His voice is actually good.
Yeah, when he's not yelling at everything.
Yeah.
God.
Well, I like him.
Come in,
I think he's a
Otacon.
good.
Otacon, please come in.
So Kurt Russell's
Stop yelling at
IMDb
me.
lists nothing since 2007.
Yeah, he basically just stepped out of the limelight. Like he just completely stopped.
Yeah, he's just done.
His last film I think was Death Proof, and that was pretty much it.
And that was
Yeah, there
fantastic.
was a couple
I
others
love
in that
Death
same
Proof.
year, but yeah.
Death Proof was not great. That's fine.
Let's
was
see what
awful.
crap Kiefer Sutherland's done.
Oh, come on. No, I'm not saying that. I don't like Kurt Russell. I loved Escape from New York. I love The Thing. I love Escape. I even like Escape from Los Angeles or whatever, California or whatever that one was.
Wow, I didn't realize it, but Kiefer Sutherland doesn't really do shit either.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
TV,
24 and that horrible new TV show he's doing. I forgot what it's called. Yeah, Touch.
So now Touch, all I can think about when I say the word Touch is that Daft Punk song.
I think Touched and I think Special. Because that's what his kid is, isn't he? He's touched.
Anyways.
Come on, radio!
Speaking of being touched, we're going to be escorting some little girl in this Last of Us thing that's coming out
what
next
I said
week.
went too far.
Well, you started it. It's like, come on, I gotta.
Touch was canceled. They're restarting 24.
Yeah, they're restarting 24. There's like a new season coming out. Anyways, we're just getting sidetracked here.
Let's go back to how that horrible TV show ended, and now it's starting back up again.
So Last of Us.
I watched
is
like
out next
2
week.
episodes. I'm still going. I watched like
All
2 episodes of 24, and
Yeah.
maybe watched like how many seasons was it? 6 or 7?
Dude, I love 24. I love 24. I think it was 7.
I think I watched maybe.
I got a season in and
I
gave
think
up.
I watched one.
That's because this first season was pretty bad. Like, first season was pretty bad. It was awful.
I understand that the first seasons of most TV shows are bad. I didn't like the format because it didn't feel right.
Okay.
24 hours.
All right.
One
Yeah,
day.
well, that's
I
guess
don't
what?
care.
You're gonna be excited then, Corinne, because when they're restarting the new 24, they're getting rid of that format. They're gonna be spotted. They're gonna like go around the hours.
No, but I watched like one episode of season
they're
3,
not
and I
doing
watched the
that
very
every hour.
last episode.
It's no longer 24. Oh, if you're gonna watch any episodes, Sleeper, you should watch.
The premise of the show is
I watched the
now
last
changing.
episode where he died. That was it.
You should watch. You should watch one episode in particular where he wears the mask and just goes insane, like takes an AR in like the middle of the street and goes after the president. It's like fucking awesome.
Wasn't that like the last episode?
No,
Nah.
it wasn't the last episode. It was like the 3 before or
I-
something like that.
Think I just don't care.
But it's
Okay.
Kiefer Sutherland. Oh, I wonder if they're going to transition the show Touch into the new 24, like he got amnesia or something.
Unless they're going to do Young Guns 3, I don't care.
Anyways, Last of Us is coming out next week. We should talk about games. Excited to get it, everybody?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Well, of course not. You're
I'm
Mr.
really
Opposite,
excited.
Corinne. I'm done talking to you today.
Reviews so far are like talking it up to the point of like it's the best game of the generation. Oh my god, it's got universal appeal. It's better than Zelda Ocarina of Time.
It's better than Jack Bauer and Touched.
It's touch. It's not touched.
The kid is fucking touched. I'm sorry. He's a little...
Oh man. Anyways,
Yes,
so yeah,
I will be
Last of
getting
Us.
It comes out next
seems cool.
Friday. How sweet is that? Instead of like on
So,
a
yeah,
Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll have to play it. It's got a bunch of multiplayer in it too. So, and the multiplayer seems pretty interesting from the sort of videos that are coming out as of late.
I
on it.
will be getting it.
So-
Hopefully, I can get it directly onto the PlayStation.
I'm getting it the same day I'm ordered on Amazon. So
Well, I mean, because my PlayStation's broke. So hopefully they'll put it right online. I mean, being a Sony product.
yeah, they are.
Are you sure though? I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
I didn't look it up.
They are. Yeah, you can pre-order it. I think right now. I think on their store. I think
Really?
you have to go.
I
You have
will
to go
have
look.
to do it. That's awesome. So I will be getting it.
But yeah, no, I'm looking real forward to it. I have as far as I know, the XSplit issue with my capture card and all that crap was sorted out, and the driver was fixed because of me tracking it down. I didn't even fucking get credit for it. I'm still fucking pissed at XSplit for that. They didn't even give me an extension of my license. They just gave some other dude an extension of his license, even though I ran down every fucking problem with it. It's just pisses me
That's
off.
what you get for using XSplit instead of Open Broadcaster.
Anyways, it was them tracking it down that they were able to find the driver issue, so it was fixing the driver, and it fixed it both for XSplit and then also Open Broadcaster. So I can now do that. So hopefully we'll be streaming a bunch of Last of Us with me and you playing, or you and I playing some Last of Us.
If not,
and
it might be a
multiplayer.
little quiet while Sato and I are switching on and off on who's going to be streaming on the computer
Yeah.
to fill that void.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. This is my personal story here that I wanted to insert in here. Unless you guys have anything else to talk about, or we can close out with this.
Let's go back to talking about Touched.
Oh, shut up! No.
Are they
Okay,
leaving
so-
that as like a cliffhanger? Are people going to send like the people who did Touched like a bunch of walnuts like they did in?
Send him a bunch of coal.
No,
shout out
no,
to-
no, no, walnuts in like Jericho or.
I don't know. So Shadow of the Eternals didn't get funded. That Kickstarter project that Dennis Dyack was on, and still is.
Who is that?
Dennis Dyack is the guy who basically was in charge of Silicon Knights, all that stuff, a bunch of stuff. He's the guy that was involved in that company where
Ran the company into the ground.
well, yeah, by all accounts, who knows? You can never tell for sure, obviously, about that proof. All that stuff. Anyways, as far as this stuff is concerned, he's in on a new project, didn't get funded, kind of just didn't get enough money. They were asking for like I think $3 million, and it never got anywhere close to that. I think the highest they ever got was like 380,000 or somewhere around there. So didn't get on there, and he basically, for those that don't know, back when was it Too Human came out first off, went on the One Up Yours podcast and basically said that anybody who didn't like Too Human didn't get it, just didn't get it. Like all the reviewers are stupid.
I always
and,
wanted to try it,
yeah, people.
but then I heard it was kind of lame. But then everybody was like saying it was an instant classic.
Yeah,
So
I
don't
heard
know.
the
it was
obscurity
bad.
of both ends of the spectrum, so I never actually picked it up.
I tried picking it up
Yeah.
recently, and I got it, and I tried playing it through. And the thing is, I got it before all the
Oh,
copies
you got
were
it before
destroyed.
they all
yeah.
got pulled off. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. They were forced to destroy all unsold copies
Yeah.
of the game
because they were
What?
using they were using an unlicensed
Yeah.
Unreal Engine.
Oh, I
Unreal
didn't know
revoked
that.
their license and made them destroy
Yeah.
the game.
Because they weren't using a legit one.
So if you have a copy, keep it because you're never going to
Yeah.
see it again.
So
That's going to be like the epic copies of the
Yeah, the
Holy
Holy
Grail
Grail,
versions of
yeah.
games like Final Fantasy and everything. You're going to see that
Yep.
going
Yeah.
for like $115,000 in 30 years.
Well, like what was it? I think what was it like 2 weeks ago? Somebody came across a manual for Clay Fighter
yeah, I used to own that game.
way back on the SNES, I think, and it was maybe it was it N64 or was it SNES? I think it was.
It was
SNES.
the Super NES.
But there was a blockbuster version only, and so the manual usually got destroyed. I think it sold for like $150,000.
No, it sold for
$1,377.
$1,377. That's way the fuck off. You added like 4 or 5 zeros to that.
I added an internet rumor 0 to it.
Nintendo
Exactly.
64, so you didn't even have the right console.
No,
Sold for
that wasn't
1,000.
N64.
Dude, God.
Thought it
A
was,
manual for a special edition of Clay Fighter on the Nintendo 64 sold
Oh.
for $1,377.
I was pretty sure that it was SNES, but Nintendo 64.
Yeah, SNES. Yep.
Maybe it was a sad edition. I don't know.
Fact checking.
There was an N64
Yeah.
later, but there was a Super Nintendo.
Anyway, so the
original.
Shadow of Eternals didn't get funded. Dennis Dyack is a man of controversy and is apparently going to try to reattempt. So they refunded everybody's money, and they're going to attempt to do another Kickstarter again.
They ended it 13 days early.
Yeah, they ended it 13 days early because they were pretty obvious that they were never going to get the money to do it. And with E3 coming up, there's just no way that they're going to get any attention in their last couple days, anyways.
So here's my question in general regarding Kickstarter. Have any of you ever supported anything on Kickstarter?
Yes, I have supported the.
Other than the one game that I know we're all looking forward to, which is the Star
I've
Citizen.
I
Supported
didn't
Star
support
Citizen.
that either. I supported,
Really?
yeah, I supported
I would've
Guns of
thought you would've
Icarus
been all
Online.
for it. Well, okay. I thought that was Steam Greenlight.
No,
I don't remember.
Was that Kickstarter?
Well, it has a Kickstarter
Okay.
on it. What was the one you're talking about? Star what? I don't think I've actually
Star
looked
Citizen.
enough into it.
Star Citizen. It's the guy from Wing
Yeah.
Commander.
Because I'm a huge Wing Commander fan, so I supported that right at
Oh
the
yeah,
beginning.
it's a brand new. It's going to do a online MMO, basically privateer.
Yep.
That's open world and totally organic.
Yep.
And it comes out in 14
what he said-
years.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it
Did they
doesn't
say
seem to be
when?
going anywhere.
He's still been making.
Yeah, he's been
updates on
doing
it.
updates.
He put
Sure.
out some new stuff on it. I think his plan was, and he got all the money for it, so he was planning to release it by 2014, I think, on PC only.
Yeah. Either way, it's coming out at some point. But
Yeah, I'm
but
looking
yeah,
forward to it.
it's not to derail on this point, but yeah. So
Not really derailing. I mean, I'm actually interested in talking about this one.
no, I know.
What?
So,
But my point was about Kickstarter in general. Is there's very few games that actually make such a big splash. I mean, there was obviously the Schaefer one.
oh
but-
yeah, I supported
eh.
Massive Chalice as well. That was recent, and then I also supported Banner Saga as well. So 3. That's three titles I've supported. But it
Why
wasn't
have I not heard anything about this game?
about Star Citizen.
I don't know. I've
Star
talked about
Citizen's
it.
awesome. Like it just looks incredible. I mean, it's on the was it Crytek engine?
There's like a 20-minute video doc on his pitch
Yeah.
on how he was getting it for Kickstarter. He spent like a 20-minute video trying to sell you on assisting.
Like
in
if you
the
like
Kickstarter.
Space Sims, it's gonna be the
Oh yeah,
game.
it's the one that's going to be coming. Yeah, they were even talking about if you want to be an
or
explorer,
open world
and
PvP
you
or
chart-
you know.
Yeah, but no. My point is like the organic side of it is that if you're an explorer and you chart certain
Yeah.
jump points, eventually that jump point gets named after you in the game permanently.
It seems really interesting. So
Yep.
but
Well, it
yeah.
sounds fun. I guess I'll have
Yeah.
to donate to it.
It
Even though you
seems
can't do it
interesting.
on the Kickstarter,
Yeah.
but you can do it on the website, it looks like.
Yeah, on the website, yeah.
Yeah, the
So I'll
website's still
do that.
active
Yeah.
for their. That way you can get still
I'll
get
donate
Which is
access.
incredible.
$10,000.
Because they've already raised like nearly $10 million, and it's just like, all right.
It's because we've all been asking for a space sim for 15
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
So it better be
Nobody's
good.
done one.
It better be fucking good.
$5,500,000 plus.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that was
that's
just the
one thing
Kickstarter.
that I've been looking for a game. I mean, the whole aspect of Eve. I love the way that their whole trade system works, where you actually have to venture out. Kind of like Star Wars Galaxies was. I like that whole system, but
Mhm.
the thing I didn't like is I didn't like the fact that you weren't really there.
Yeah, well,
You were there to an extent. You weren't there though. You were always above. It didn't have that whole immersion factor feel to it.
Yeah, well, this is definitely going to have that. There's actually two parts
and
to the
Oculus
game.
Rift support, Sleeper. So if you want to get an Oculus
have
Rift,
been
so
looking
it's
at
going to be
getting too.
perfect in this. Seems like the
Yeah,
perfect game
there's
for
actually
it
two parts
too,
to the game.
for Oculus Rift.
There's Squadron 41?
Yeah,
Is that what
that's
it's
the
called?
single
The other
player
half?
stuff,
Yeah.
and then there's the open
It's
world.
single player co-op.
So is
Yeah.
this being developed
And then-
indie level, or is this actually
Yeah.
being? So this
Well,
is being back.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. If he's
Independent, yeah.
doing it, he's independently developing it.
There's a studio here in
Right.
Austin, which is their main studio, and then they have a side studio, I think, for like QA and other stuff
Okay,
in
so it's not an
California.
independent company.
No, it's an independent company. It's
Right.
his company.
Oh, I guess
He-
he's done
Yeah, he's
fairly
doing it
He's got
successful
a
in the
lot of
past.
money. Is basically what you're saying. What we're
Yeah,
saying.
okay. I got that now.
He made a bunch of films, and so like after he was doing after he did Wing Commander, and that was really successful, and being part of Origin, obviously, and that whole thing, he went on to do a bunch of movies, and then investing, I think, and then came back to do a proper flight sim. So yeah, so the guy has a
Yeah, and
bit
the
of money.
cool part is how it's broken down. You do Squadron 41 single player co-op, and then after that you basically jump out into the multiplayer MMO side, with your rank and your credits you've earned and all that kind of stuff from the single player. Or you can just go straight to the multiplayer and go out as a private citizen rather than ex-military.
Yeah, leave it up.
So you actually have to be in a military to be
No, I know
ex-military.
Wing Commander GT, but yeah, this is the only game that I've ever seen where somebody has a $15,000 price tag and it's sold out.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to think. I mean, there are a lot of guys, especially here in Austin, that are former Origin guys that have donated to it, plus backed it, and then done venture capital through them. I'm sure behind the scenes. Plus everybody, obviously, like Rain said, the people who are just looking for another space game, which doesn't exist. This genre doesn't exist anymore. Like as far as we know, and except for the 4X games and that stuff, like this genre doesn't
there's
exist.
a few arcadey games like that.
as
Sorry,
Scurrying got
my
okay.
dog.
Go ahead.
The one that was just out on Steam.
Just keep going.
What you
Now
want,
it's
puppy
puppet
remember what it
dog? I
was.
can hear you in the background.
Anyways, there are a few
It's
games
being annoying.
that exist like it, but there's not really much in there. Nothing from like a
Strike Suit Zero.
yeah.
Sorry.
There's nothing from like a big studio front that are making it anymore. Anyways, so it'll be nice to see it come to fruition at some point. But it just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere very fast. They're looking like
It's
they're taking their time with
estimated
it.
2014, so
Yeah, it looks like they're taking their time with it, and they're updating the site at least, on a weekly basis. So we'll see. It's one of those things that you just invest your money and then just wait, because they're gonna want to make sure that it's right, and you shouldn't really want to have it rushed anyways, because we've seen how many times that happens. Anyway, so Dennis Dyack needs to go. Anyways, that's my thought. Anyways.
I think him and Randy Pitchford need to get together and come out with a real good game.
There we go. The Dyack Pickford or Pitch. I was
A
trying
pitch
to
deck.
Pitch Dyack.
Pitch deck production.
Yep,
Sounds horrible if you say it with a slang lingo too.
it's awful.
Pitch deck.
So that's the podcast, right?
Kind of. Hooray!
You can find our stuff.
Sorry. Sorry,
You
it's
can
the
find
end of
us-
the night. We're getting tired.
Yeah, you can find our stuff at the website at URL thelabpixel.com. You can also find our stream at twitch.tv/livepixel and Twitter at the Labpixel Gaming on Twitter. You can also rate us on iTunes. We'll hug you across the internets. Twitters. You can follow us at me, Justin Lowe. You can follow me, Justin Lowe, at Zorak on Twitter.
Yeah, you're losing it.
And you can follow me, Karain, at Karain.
You can follow me, Sleeper, at that one Sleeper on the Twitter. And this is where we have the awkward silence for a little bit.
What are we naming this podcast episode?
And Sleeper Find Star
Pre-E3
Citizen.
Goodness, or we don't know what podcast this is called.
There we go.
Yeah, what number is this?
Whatever the hell I had
There
it
we go.
originally set to. Or Jack Bauer's Touched is now.
No. No.
Jack Power is now touched.
Jack Bauer's Touched Kids. Whoop!
Oh,
You know,
my
you
God.
put all those words together, it sounds horrible. But it's like he has touched kids. Like he's teacher of the touched. Jack Bauer's Touched Kids.
Oh, my God.
That's a That's
disgusting.
that's like Jerry's
Yeah,
Kids, but
stop.
Horrible. Horrible.
it's interpreted very, very wrong.
Horrible.
Touched.
Bye.
So long.